So when we're dividing, sometimes we can divide a number into equal groups and everybody fits into an equal group and life is super groovy. And then sometimes we have our equal groups and then there's just a little bit left over. That's not enough to make another equal group. That's what happens when we divide and come up with remainders. So here's an example. I've got 27 of something I need to divide 5 different ways. And it could be money, it could be time, it could be food, it could be people. 27. And I'm going to make 5 groups. Now, right away, I know this isn't a math fact, but I know it's pretty close to a math fact. So in my thought bubble, I'm thinking to myself, well, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. That's pretty close. I could do, so I have 5 groups of 5 at 25, but it's not going to quite get me there. Can I do 6 groups of 5? Well, no, because then I'd need 30, and I don't have 30. So I'm going to count that out. I'm going to say, well, let's make 5 groups of 5. And that means that 25 of my items are taken care of, which leaves me with just 2. Well, I can't create a group of 5 with just 2. That means that this 2 is what we call a remainder. Just a little something left over that isn't going to fit into our equal groups. Now the way we write that, we keep our great big 5 up here in the quotient, and then right on its little shoulder we perch an R for remainder and a 2. Another way we can do that is to write the remainder as a fraction. We can say, okay, I can take 27 and divide it into 5 whole groups, and then I'll have 2 out of 5 remaining. How would this look as a picture? Well, let's say I'm making groups of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then I've just got this little bit of 2 left over. That remains. So that's the basics for how to divide with a remainder. If we had maybe a bigger dividend. So let's continue to divide into equal groups of 5, but now let's try something more like, oh, how about 290? So I have 290 avocados or 290 pom-poms for the cheerleaders. I don't know what I have, but I've got to divide them into 5 groups. And that's going to require thinking. So for me, that means I'm going to show my thinking with this thought bubble. Now, I can still think in terms of my math facts, but right away I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, 29 and 5 are not part of a fact family. Not exactly. However, I still know that 5 groups of 5 is 25, which means that 50 groups of 5 would be 250. 5 times 5 times 10. Well, but I've still got more going on. I wonder what 60 groups of 5 would look like. Well, if 5 times 6 is 30 and 30 times 10 is 300, again, that's too much. I only have 290 things to divide up. So I think I'm going to have to start out with knowing that 50 groups of 5 will get me going. If I create 50 groups of 5, then I've dealt with 250 of my 290 things that need to be split up, which leaves me with 40. Now, am I done? Is that a remainder? Well, no, it's not, because I can take that 40 and divide it into more groups of 5. In fact, right away I see 5 and 40 and I think, hey, I know how many groups of 5 is going to get me to 40. It turns out it's 8 groups of 5.